English essayist Walter Pater said that all art seeks to attain the condition of music and all music seeks to achieve the form and composition of art. That's why we have Anil Srinivasan and Sharan Apparao in conversation today, because they have so much to say on that topic. And Sharan was telling me earlier, Anil, that there's one artist who can't work without music.
Yes, and that's Harsha Vardhana, who is a well-known artist and the son of another well-known painter, J. Swaminathan, and he only listens to Carnatic music.
And in fact, I think we featured Harsha Vardhana's paintings during the Bradwani Music Festival that we did.
Yes, we had that.
We featured his paintings, and that's again going back to the conversation on how we felt that even in a performance space during the December season, in which Sharan and I did a couple of more events which we'll talk about, we felt that the visual arts and the performing arts have to be presented together to, regardless of what the audiences are, it need not necessarily be art buyers or anybody like that. It's just about exposure.
It's about enjoying it and seeing where the inspiration came from.
But Sharan, when you started this in the 1980s, I mean, what was it like? You yourself say in an article that I read that you've written that probably what you started to do was reckless, you know.
Well, I think people thought it was reckless. I did it because I loved art and I wanted to continue to do it. You know, I continued it all these years because it inspired me. And somewhere along the way, I think it became like a disease, you know. So, and I bring art into every aspect of my life. I mean, whether it's music or whether it's painting or whether it's technology, because we're working with different forms and we are using art in different forms. There are a lot of digital photographers who we work with. There are a lot of new media artists like the video artists that we're beginning to work with. It's so new that people don't know which part of it is art, and that's what we're trying to ascertain for them, you know, so that they'll be able to look at it, they'll be able to, it'll make sense to them. And when we have collaborated, Anil and myself, we've talked about the fact that art can be inspired by music and music can be inspired by art. But I think the time has come now for the two to merge together into a work of art, because performance art has become very big.
Coming to the point of what she was saying, I think for musicians also, the simple form of expression where it's just about playing a concert to a sit-down audience is not going to work anymore. I think we're seeing, especially with the younger generation, which is very technology compliant and which is very much into new media and new things, that you need to grab their attention through multimedia and, you know, multiple art forms colliding.
Yeah, but I think it's also new things, because, you know, when we started in the 80s, paintings were, I mean, already paintings were exciting. Nobody ever thought it would come to digital photography. Nobody ever thought it would come to video. Nobody ever thought it would come to a combination of things. So I think the new minds are all seeking new things. And I think even when we show art, we have to go into those different areas.
But what I was going to ask you is, sometimes the word gimmickry thrown at you because of what you do?
Yes, absolutely.
That's why everything has to be very meaningful. It has to strike a chord. I mean, if it doesn't, then yes, it gets called a gimmick.
So on that note, strike a chord.
I will, but I'm going to say one thing, because this is a great opportunity for me, because I'm sitting with old friends to talk a little more and play a little less. And this is on the note of gimmickry. In fact, Sharan and I collaborated this year during the December season to just do 2-3 small intimate concerts for our friends who come in from other parts of India, who really want to get to know Carnatic music and what's happening in December, but you know, they find going to Sabhas very intimidating, because most people already know Carnatic music, and so we did that. But even on the day of one of the performances we organized, we felt, you know, the quality of this performance that is going to happen may not strike the right chord for this audience.
I think it's important for us to do
even with 10 minutes, half an hour to go for the performance, I called up Sharan and I said, what do we do? And she said, no, let's not do it. And as late as that, we were calling up people and saying, you know what, it doesn't matter, let's not do it.
Yeah, I think we have to do things that matter, and I think we have to do things with a great depth, and I think we have to look quite well at what we're doing, because I think when we choose artists, we do that. So even when we give ourselves to these collaborative things, I think we have to do something that is evolved with...
Yeah, that's honest as well, yeah.
But also you want the audience to go back saying that this is something that brought some value to me, and value is not just in terms of money. In terms of the aesthetic experience, in terms of something new that they gleaned from that performance, has to be substantial. It can't be, in fact, I think we as collaborators, as artists, as musicians, as curators have the
As
responsibility
editors, we really have to edit what we show to the public. I mean, we have many ideas, I think, but not all of them will work. And just like artists too, I think we have to be choosy about.
You've got to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, Anil calls himself a compulsive collaborator. That's what you said to me when we started this series, and he's got a dedicated fan following. We have a lot of people watching the show, so there you have a big audience. You have to play.
Thank you to the audience. And I'll play. Again, this time from the Marco Polo Diaries. Because it was a thing about journeys, I played Kaatrinile Varum Geetam, so I'll just play that now.